This video will be an overview of linear equations. Now, what is a linear equation? This is a definition from Wikipedia. A linear equation is an algebraic equation in which each term is either a constant or the product of a constant and a single variable, the first power of a single variable. Now, here are some examples of it that'll clear it up. Y is equal to 3x plus 5. Every term here, y, 3x, and 5, they're all either constants, in the case of 5, or products of constants and first powers. In other words, 1 times y is y, 3 times x is x. Y minus x is equal to 55 is another example. Y is a product of a constant, 1, and a single variable, so same thing with x, and 55 is a constant. And as long as we only have variables raised to the first power and constants, then it's linear no matter in what order we put it in. So these are all examples. And it also includes examples in which there is only one variable. For instance, y is equal to 4 and x is equal to 7. And it's possible if you think about in different ways, like if you think about a 3D space, you can have 3 variables and it still be a line. And if you think about an even higher dimension, you can have 4 variables. But for the purposes of a high school class, generally you'll think about only 2 variables, and so we'll keep this discussion to only 2 variables. So let's interpret what these equations mean. So the first big thing is that they look like a line when you graph one. So here's a graph of y is equal to 3x plus 5. And as you see, it's a line. That's where we get the term linear equation from. And another way you can think about it is that if you increase x at a steady rate, for example, if you increase x by 1 and then repeatedly increase it by 1, you notice that y will repeatedly increase and decrease by the same thing. In other words, if you change x steadily, you'll change y steadily. And that has a lot to do with certain characteristics of linear equations. First is the idea of a slope. How steep is this line? How does y change as x changes? Slope is very important not only when discussing lines, but when discussing a lot of mathematics, especially when it comes to rates of change. And the other 2 characteristics that are important are y-intercepts, where does the line cross the y-axis, and x-intercepts, where does the line cross the x-axis. And for different lines, there'll be different answers. And sometimes we have to do mathematical work to find these out, but other times the equation will be in a form that we can break down easily. And there are 2 main types of forms for linear equations that you should know about. I mean, there's more, but the ones that are often emphasized in the high school curriculum are slope-intercept form and point-slope form. So once you know those forms, you'll be able to quickly determine the slope, y-intercepts, and sometimes x-intercept of the line without having to do too much work. And so this is an overview. I'm gonna make videos about each individual concept here in more detail. But this is by and large what you need to know about linear equations.